Hello again, it's Noob, and I have a bit of a problem. Well, I probably have lots more problems than this, but this is just one of the problems I have at the moment. And that is, I have a gorgeous Ingersoll, is it the 700 series? It's an impregnable 10 lever padlock, and it really is just lovely. But it doesn't have a key. I mean, I have a blank key, but it's the only blank key I have, which isn't very helpful. Now, luckily, I picked it open, and I actually did this with hand picks, but I do also have an Ingersoll 2-in-1 pick. Now, because I'm used to picking these padlocks, I actually think that hand picking them, for me, actually is sometimes just as easy as using the 2-in-1 pick. But the one advantage the 2-in-1 pick has is if I withdraw this back a little bit like this, there we go, and I pop this in without turning it all the way back. I don't want to lock this up. I've got one shot to do this, really. So I pop this tool in like this, get the little teeth in. You'll see that as I go from lever to lever, I can take a reading of the actual lever heights in the open position. So you can see how I'm going across, and this little nub is the top or the bottom of this, which aligns with certain markings. So at the moment, this is the lever 3 on the top side of the key. So it's this side, lever 3, and that's reading position, reading across at the bottom of that 2. So that's cut 2. If I go across another one, you'll see that this is 0 cut, so that is basically just this key as it is. And then I go across again, and you'll see that's well, this is called a 4 cut. So some go quite deep. So this is a 2 on the bottom, the left-hand side of this key. This is another 2. Lever 3 is a 4. Lever 4 is a 3, and 5 at the top appears to be a 4 as well. So there's a lot of 3 and 4 cuts on this lock. So what I want to do is try, if I can, to take some readings using this, and then by eye cut this key for this lock. Now, when I turn this, I can't test it because it won't go in because of the way the levers are set. I won't be able to test this until I've cut the key. So this will be a bit of a nail biter for myself. Now, to help out, I actually have another Ingersoll, and this does have a key. So there it is. You see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions there. So what I'm going to do is use this key blade as a point to just gently mark off with a file where those lever positions are as a bit of a guide. So first things first, I'm just going to tighten these down with non-marring pliers, because I don't want to mark my keys. And it doesn't really matter if they're super aligned, other than the fact that the key bows match at that point, which I think I've got about right. And basically I can see the cuts on the key. A marking where lever 1 would be, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 is actually at the tip. It's only a rough estimate, but we'll see that 1 there, that's 1. See, that's 1. That's exactly right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. That means I'm going to use my round file like this and just do a tiny mark like that, more permanent mark, where each point I want to cut is going to be. So I should have my marks there. I'll just line that up with another key and just make sure that I'm happy with where I've made those marks. Yep, that looks pretty good to me. We'll try and make these as wide as we can anyway. Turn it upside down, do the same. So the very first thing I want to file is lever 5 at the top here, which would align with this part of the key. So this is the furthest cut. If I align this, you'll see, just let it drop down like that, you'll see that that aligns well with that little black dot. I just painted it again with a marker pen for you to see. So that's where I'm going to start filing. I'll take a reading with this 2-in-1 pick, and we'll see what we actually get for that. So we'll go all the way down to 5, and we'll just see, and it looks like this is a 3 cut. So we need to just file it down a little bit to get to that 3 cut, okay? What does a 3 cut look like? Well, if I align that with the key blade like this, you'll see that it comes down by a small amount, very small amount. So if I hold that at 3, you'll see that that means that I have to file away about, what would you say, 1 millimeter maximum. So I'm going to do that now. And yes, we are doing this by eye, and yes, I'll double check everything. Just make sure that aligns properly like that. And it looks like we're almost there, actually. Very, very almost there. So about there. So I reckon I could file a tiny bit more off, which I will. Don't worry, I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'll cut away and come back once I've done a few more. So I've just mapped this out as a reference, and that's what I'm filing down to now. And I think that's the basic cuts of one side. Obviously, you need to file between them to make them at an angle so we don't get canyoning, but that's about right for that side, I think. Probably just flip over and do the other side now. Okay, so I mean, I think that is roughly the cut. I just need to sort of file these down so they don't look so jaggedy, because if I put that in a lock now, it will just seize up, and then we can, if it doesn't open, we can file down a few more bits, give it a bit of refinement. But yeah, let's just remove some of these sharper edges. So this is where I've got to with a bit of filing to try and make everything all neat. I'm just going to recheck all my measurements, give it one file down, and do you know what? We're just going to have to test it in the lock, and fingers crossed it works. So here is the moment of truth. I'm not sure it's going to work, but we'll give this a go. Might have overcut a few of these, but if it works, it works. Let's turn it back, lock it back up, put the key in, and no, we haven't quite gotten open yet, have we? That's a shame. So sadly, after lots of playing around with this key, if I get it in the actual lock the right way around, I can't get this to open up. So I had to stop making this video. I had to go out and get another key blank and try again. And we got to this. Now this doesn't work perfectly either, but watch. There we go. It will open the lock. Only if I pull it out just a little bit like this. Like that. So I need to pull the key out. So it won't turn sort of straight away, but if you give it a little pull forwards as you turn it, it does open. Now here's interesting. Both of these, well, you can probably tell, are hand cut. And this is the one which I messed up. I think it was this cut here, which would have aligned to lever 4, and that was supposed, on this side, which would have been a 3 cut, which is a little lower than the cuts here, as you can see. But I think that if I align that, let's put it underneath here like that, you'll see that I actually cut too much off that position here, and it just needs to be a bit taller. So that's all it was, just a little bit of overfiling, probably see there as well. And even now, it's not a perfect key, but it does work. Pulling it back a bit like this, obviously is either allowing a lever to drop down or to rise up on one of these slopes. I'm not entirely sure which, but then maybe the more I use it, the more it will sort of become usable, if that makes sense. I forgot an old trick, which I don't recommend unless you're pretty confident that it's close to being right, which is to just gently, and these are non-marring pliers, is to gently put the key in the lock and keep turning it back and forth. It's a bit like impressioning a lock. If you take it out, you might be able to see some rubbing marks or not on the underside. I can see a little high point there, I think. Already I'm turning it better with my fingers here. So And it's a bit like doing lock impressioning. You can see it just catching. It's probably a lever just rubbing on one cut. So if you can figure what that is, and if it isn't a cut that's too low, you might be able to just file it down. But already I don't need to like withdraw the key to make it work so much. So something is being freed up, and that works so much better that I can actually just use my fingers now. It's a little bit stiff, but just by pushing the key in now, we've already got a key which is working better. Forgive me for not showing you me cutting this key, but it's exactly the same as cutting this key. And actually, I'm glad I went out to get this key, because it's actually a nice brass, which is so much nicer, I think, than these sort of steel ones. I think it's a nicer look. So I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, if you do manage to pick one of these locks, you can hand file using one of these 2-in-1 Ingersoll picks as a decoder, although it would be so much easier if you actually had access to locksmith tools and depth and space keys, so you can just literally file down to exactly the right depth using a depth and space key. For those of you who don't know, depth and space keys are just keys cut to 1 or 2 depths on each lever, so that you can literally just use it as a template in a key cutting machine to cut to a code. I would use them to line them up and just file down to the exact marking. But yeah, I'm glad I had this key that I could just go run and get from my local locksmith. It's not often I have to pause the video to go to a shop, but there you go. We did actually get a working key out of this in the end, and it was well, I say working. I'd really like to know where I'm sort of going wrong. Why do I have to pull this one back just that little bit? I'll have to have a little fiddle about with it. But yeah, otherwise, I hope you enjoyed that video. Hope you learned something as well. It is possible to cut keys by eye. It is a bit fiddly, and it doesn't give you always the best results, but a working key that works mostly is better than no working key at all. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Really helps my channel out, and I really appreciate it. If you have any comments about my method or this lock or anything really, do let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, stay safe, happy picking, and I'll see you all next time.